Welcome to our channel. Today we will look through a window that opens to a very near future, a future where household robots will take care of our homes. Forget distant science fiction. We are talking about a reality that begins now. And the video we will analyze from the CNET channel with host Jesse is proof of this. It shows us a humanoid robot performing a task that many of us dislike, but the main point is greater. Understand that folding clothes is just the beginning. This video is a glimpse of the day when all household activities will be automated. Milena, isn't this fascinating?
It is absolutely fascinating, Rodrigo. Hello, everyone. And what makes this CNET video so powerful is that it uses a seemingly simple task to illustrate a complex revolution. Folding a towel requires perception, delicacy, and coordination, essential skills for a robot that, in the future, will cook, clean, and organize an entire house. Therefore, when we see Figure 02 in action, we are not just watching a machine fold a piece of clothing. We are witnessing the development of the foundation upon which all future robotic household assistants will be built. That is why every success and every mistake that Jesse Orrell shows us is so important. Remember, everyone, that at the end of the video, we will leave the channel information where we are analyzing the news so you can subscribe.
Guys, before we start, leave a comment. If money were not an issue, would you buy a robot to take care of your house? What household activity do you dislike the most and would send the robot to do? I would already ask it to clean the bathroom, wash the windows, and make my coffee. And you? Let's chat. Returning to the analysis, one of the first technical points that Jesse Orrell raises in the video is very interesting and deserves attention. He mentions that Figure, the company behind the robot, had a partnership with OpenAI to feed its artificial intelligence and speech recognition. However, they decided to change course at the beginning of this year to develop their own system called Helix. This is a bold and significant move. It shows that the company does not want to just build the robot's body, but also its brain, having full control over its development. What we are about to see, according to the video, is precisely Helix in action for the first time.
And what a debut, huh? Right in the first task, as we see in the CNET video, the robot tries to smooth the towel on the table and, well, it doesn't quite work out. Milena laughs. It's a humorous moment and at the same time, very educational. It shows the complexity involved in tasks that are trivial to us. The sensitivity to touch, the perception of the fabric's texture, the exact force to be applied. There are so many details. Jesse Orrell narrates that the robot cannot keep the towel flat, but then it adjusts itself and manages to make a decent fold. This ability to correct the initial mistake is perhaps more impressive than if it had succeeded on the first try. It demonstrates learning and real-time adaptation.
It is the resilience of the machine on display, and the laundry saga continues. The CNET video shows the second attempt, and Figure 02 misses the towel grip. It is one of those moments that remind us, as the presenter well points out, that these robots are still in their infancy. But his reaction is fantastic. He doesn't freeze, doesn't go into a fault. He simply recalculates, corrects the movement, and on the second try, grabs the towel perfectly. In fact, in this second towel, he seems to have more success in smoothing it over the table. This suggests quick learning, perhaps applying what went wrong the first time to improve the second. It is evolution happening right before our eyes.
And the CNET team did the math, which I love. Jesse Orrell brings us the numbers. The robot took 2 minutes and 13 seconds to fold 6 towels. That gives an average of approximately 22.17 seconds per towel. Okay, it's not exactly staggering speed, but let's be fair, it's a robot learning a complex fine motor task. The funniest part, and which shows another area for improvement, is the end of the task. The video shows the robot handing the basket back to the human, and it kind of messes up the towels it just folded with so much effort. It's the robotic equivalent of tripping on the last step of the stairs. It's charming and frustrating at the same time.
Absolutely. It shows that the task is not just folding, but the entire workflow. Picking up, folding, organizing, delivering. Each step has its own challenges. And to prove that Figure 02 is not a one-task robot, Jesse Orrell shares an extra clip posted by Figure's CEO Brett Adcock. In this clip, we see the humanoid crouch down, placing dirty clothes into a washing machine. This broadens the scope of its abilities: crouching, maintaining balance, opening the machine door, handling clothing pieces of different shapes and sizes. It is a demonstration of versatility essential for a domestic robot to be truly useful in the real world and not just in a laboratory.
And the competition in this humanoid robot market is heating up. The CNET video very comprehensively introduces us to a competitor, Neo, from the company 1X. Jesse Orrell explains that Neo was specifically designed for the home environment. We see footage of it not only putting clothes in the machine, but also carrying the laundry basket, which involves locomotion and balance while carrying an object. Neo's design appears somewhat different, perhaps more compact. 1X is clearly focused on creating a home assistant capable of performing a range of other household tasks, as mentioned in the video. The race for the first viable domestic robot is in full swing.
The launch strategy of 1X for Neo is aggressive and smart. Jesse Orrell reports that a version of the robot, Neo Gamma, is already in testing phases in the homes of the company's employees. This is crucial for collecting real-world data with all its unpredictability. But what is most interesting is what comes next. 1X announced a private early access program for 2025. Public members will be the first to have a Neo at home. The CEO of 1X told Jesse that these early adopters will essentially be part of the team helping to teach and train the robots. It is a collaborative development approach with the end consumer.
Now we reach the most fun part of the CNET video, in my opinion. Jesse Orrell decides to take the competition personally and compare his own human ability with that of the robot Figure 02. I love his good humor when he calls himself a real flesh and blood doll, as opposed to the clanker, a pejorative term for robots in science fiction. He even jokes by asking future AI content moderators not to cancel him for the joke. It's a relaxed moment that serves an important purpose, creating a direct and tangible comparison between human efficiency and robotics at the current state of technology. He recreates the scene in his own apartment.
And the challenge setup is quite honest. Jesse shows that he is not in a studio, but in his apartment, trying to simulate the conditions of the Figure video. He admits that his towels are a bit larger, which could even be a slight disadvantage for him. The goal is clear: who folds faster? The countdown begins, and we see Jesse in action, folding his pile of towels with the dexterity that centuries of evolution have given us for manual tasks. It is interesting to note that he accidentally places 2 extra towels in his pile, a human error, as he himself says, which makes the whole situation even more ironic and fun since he is competing against a machine.
And the results are revealing. Jesse Orrell doubles 8 larger towels in 1 minute and 49 seconds. His average was an impressive 13.63 seconds per towel. When we compare this with the robot's average, which was 22.17 seconds per towel, the difference is striking. Jesse himself calculates and informs us he was approximately 63% faster than Figure 02. For now, humanity wins this specific laundry battle. Milena smiles. But the question is not just who wins today, but how quickly this difference will decrease. Today we are 63% faster. And in a year, and in 5 years, that is the reflection to consider.
Exactly. And the CNET video approaches the end with a very powerful scene and analogy. After the robot finishes its task, the human comes back and simply dumps a new pile of towels for it. Jesse Orrell compares this scene to the myth of Sisyphus. The king condemned to roll a stone up a mountain forever, only to see it roll back down again. It is a perfect metaphor for household chores, an endless cycle. There will always be another dish to wash, another house to clean, another pile of clothes to fold. The image of the robot about to restart work tirelessly is very symbolic of the purpose for which it was created.
And this analogy opens the door to the philosophical questions that Jesse Orrell proposes at the end of his piece. It makes us think, if we start relying on robots for these cyclical and endless tasks, what will happen to us? Will we forget how to take care of ourselves and our spaces? Will we lose basic self-sufficiency skills? It is a very valid line of questioning. There is value in the act of caring for our environment, a sense of responsibility, and even a meditative aspect in some of these tasks. Delegating all of this may have consequences that we do not yet fully understand. It is a double-edged sword, without a doubt.
It is the great paradox of automation. We seek technology to free us from repetitive work so that we have more time for leisure, creativity, and living. But at the same time, we run the risk of becoming passive and overly dependent.
Guys, don't forget the question at the beginning of the video. If money were not a problem, would you buy a robot to take care of your house? What household activity do you hate the most and would send the robot to do? This video doesn't end now. It continues with us chatting in the comments. If you find this video interesting, I invite you to become a channel member and like this video. Up here on the top right, I will leave a video suggestion for you to continue with me.
Exactly! As always, thank you very much for watching. I am Rodrigo, she is Milena, and we'll see you next time with more news.